Hey Greg, let's talk bourbon. In fact, today actually we're going to be talking rye. Today is the day I'm finally getting around to doing my 6-wide rye blind. What inspired this was this bottle here, Redwood Empire Rocket Top. So I got this bottle. It was fantastic. I got it along with its bourbon companion, and I just had to try it up against other ryes. Now, I did not want to put it up against any finished ryes. I think that really changes things. So I wanted a bunch of unfinished ryes, and that's what I have in front of me. Now, these are a bunch of different price points. They are a bunch of different mash bills. But let's take a look at them. First off, and this is going to be number one. It's going to be number 1 to number 6. So number 1, and I happen to have them placed here in order of price. So Rossville Union, this is a $40 bottle, and it is 100 proof, and it's 51% rye, 49% malted barley. So never seen anything else with so much malted barley. I have to say, from tasting it here over the last week, it's been very good. It's really creamy. Rabbit Hole is next. This is about $47. It is 95 proof, and the mash bill is 95% rye, 5% malted barley, and it's an MGP product. It makes no claim on here as being more than 4 years old, or and it's also not a single barrel. Why I mention these things is because the next bottle, Old Elk, this is actually a single barrel. Their single barrel rye. It is also a mash bill of 95% rye, 5% malted barley. Another interesting thing about Old Elk, they make a lot of their own distillate, but they also use some MGP distillate. And so I'm not really sure, if this is MGP or not. I couldn't find it anywhere on the bottle or online. The bottle never makes any mention of Indiana. Oh, actually it does. Right there it is. Distilled in Indiana. So it is MGP. Now, some of the things that make this different, though, is that this does claim to be aged 6 years. Now, MGP usually sells their barrels at 4 years. So this is aged 6 years, and it is a single barrel. It's also a higher proof. This is 124 proof. So this is barrel strength, whereas, of course, this one is not. So this one is, maybe just a 4 year and only 95 proof. So we'll see how they differ. All right, on to Jack Daniels. The Jack Daniels Rye. This is a single barrel proof. It's 132 proof. Back to price. Old Elk, I got this for about $60. Now, I have seen it online for $80, but I'm putting it where I put it here because I got it for $60. So Jack Daniels price is $65. It's like I said, it's barrel proof. So it's 132 proof. It's the proofiest one here in the lineup. Which is not unusual for Jack Daniels, right? They often have, what their barrel strength truly is barrel strength, right? So Jack Daniels is also, whereas these three here are 2 grain, Jack Daniels is a 3 grain. It's 70% corn, 18% rye, and 12% malted barley. So on to the Rocket Top. Rocket Top is bottled in bond, so it's only 100 proof. I got the bottle for about $80. And right here on the bottle, this is their own distillate. Right here on the bottle, it's 86% rye, 7% malted barley, 5% wheat, 2% corn. So this is a 4 grain. And then we're on to the mysterious one here, the Peerless Single Barrel proof. Oh, and this one also happens to be an It's Barrel Night pick. So the Peerless, I believe, costed around $110. And it is also 110 proof. And like I said, I don't know the mash bill. They're mysterious. So there we go. That's our lineup. I'm going to move these over a little bit. Make room, more room here for the glasses. These have already been poured and mixed around. They've already been sitting out for about a half an hour. And boy, 6 wide gets tough. I'm gonna make some room here. All right, I'm gonna call these A through F. And let's get into it, shall we? The letter A smells like a rye, but it's a little different. I mean, it does have a little bit of that, a little bit of spearmint. It has some cloves. It also has some cinnamon to it. Maybe a touch of allspice hiding in the back. Maybe even a touch. Maybe a touch of cocoa powder in there as well. Letter B. Much stronger on the nose. It definitely smells like a rye. It's definitely got that minty, grassy, cloves, dandelions. Yeah, and on into the lemongrass. And it pretty much sticks with those rye type of notes. There might be a touch of like a cinnamon in the background, but not much. That one was quite impressive and very much a rye. Letter C. Well, not quite as strong of a nose, but it's pleasant. This one's more of a... This one's malty, it's yeasty, it's also rye. Has that cloves and... But at the same time, it smells like it could be a pie. Because it's got a little bit of that allspice hiding in the background. With that malty yeastiness. And the top, like I said, it's got the cloves. It's got a little bit of the mint. It also has a little bit of a, I don't know, I think it's a vanilla. Anyways, there's a lot going on in this glass. Smells wonderful. On to letter D. Letter D is darker. It's malty. It's more subdued. It's very malty, but it's also very subdued in the sense for the rye notes. They're there, but they're darker. It's like it's hard to describe. It's like it's got a little bit of the mint and a little bit of the cloves, but kind of like almost headed towards the direction of being burnt, you know? If that makes any sense. All right. I have my suspicions about that glass. Letter E. Wow. Beautiful nose. Wow. This is another pie. Yeasty, baking spices, allspice, right? Wow. It's fruity. It's got a peach or pear or a little caramel to it. This is really nice. Now it does have some rye notes, standard rye notes, but they're kind of in the background. I mean, I do smell the cloves and maybe a little lemongrass kind of in the background. But yeah, you know, if you'd have told me that this was a bourbon, maybe a high rye bourbon, I would have believed you, right? That is not a standard rye. All right, on to F. Pleasant but light. Kind of like, again, it's like a pear. And the cloves are there. Dandelions are there. Lemongrass is there. Maybe a little vanilla on the top. Maybe a little bit of that allspice hiding in the background, but it's really faint. All right, let's get on the palate, shall we? Took a little sip of this early, if you noticed. I have to say, by the way, going back to the nose, while a few of them were stronger than others, and there were some that were very rye and some that were very un-rye-like, they were all pleasant. Everything about all of them had a very pleasant experience on the nose. So, A, it's nicely viscous. It's got good legs to it. It's quite tasty. It's not the strongest, but it's fruity, a light fruit. Back to that. I know sometimes when you get something in your mind, you just keep going back to it, but it's like a light fruit. So it could be a green apple, but it also could be more into that pear or peach type of range. A little bit of five spice, allspice, not really the five spice, more of the allspice, more of that baking spice, right? But it's very light. It has a very light finish. Kind of keeps you with the front of the palate, mid palate. Take another taste of it. You almost kind of start to get a little bit of a melonness to it as well. In addition to, there's the rye note starting to come in. Now I'm starting to get some of that spearmint. I'm starting to get those cloves. Yeah. So this is an interesting mix. It's not. You can tell it's a different mash bill. All right. Letter B. This is the one that had a stronger nose. Very tasty. Very tasty. Boy, I get lemon. I mean, not necessarily. I guess I also get lemongrass, but at the end, and you're kind of in the finish. But but I get lemon as the fruit up front. Along with those cloves, lots of cloves, little dandelion. Also has a little bit of allspice on the finish, but not heavy, not heavy. Very nice pour, very nice pour. All right, letter C. This is the one, the first one that I said smells like a pie, and that it does. Oh, wow. This is tasty. I gotta chase all these flavors down here. All right, well, it's got a bready, yeasty note to it. It's got the allspice finish. But it's got a lot going on in the front that is bouncing around and makes it a little hard to pinpoint. It's not one flavor. It's fruity. I think there's definitely some kind of pear or peach. In fact, I think I would go with the peach. Yeah, I would go with the peach. And then there's some vanilla on top. Touch of cinnamon in there. This is really tasty. Letter D. This is the one that had the most subdued nose, if I recall. Very malty. I think I would be surprised if this is not Rossville Union. Sorry. I would be surprised if this is not Rossville Union. It's really quite lovely, but it's also very simple. It's very creamy. It's very malty. It's got a little bit of On one hand, you get a little bit of the spearmint, you get a little bit of the cloves. On the other hand, you get a little bit of vanilla, and just this general malty creaminess to it. It's very silky. Would be another good word for this. It's a very good pour in its own right. I don't know if this is going to stand up to the others, though, because it's simple. Letter E. Great nose. Lots of rye. It has all the standard rye notes on this one. Flavorful. Actually has a little bit more of that allspice finish than any of the other ones I've tried. It's not heavy, but it's there more prevalently than any of the others. That being said, it's quite viscous. It's got good legs. It's got great mouthfeel. It hits those rye notes of a little mintiness, but that's kind of subdued in this one. But I get a lot of the cloves. the cloves, the grass, the dandelions, the lemongrass, that kind of right down the middle of rye notes, And I've also get this just straight up lemoniness that I'm really kind of getting like after the finish, right? So you get the front of the palate, and it has that allspice finish, and then after that kind of dissipates, because I'm sitting here blabbing on here, just talking away, not drinking fast enough, I guess. What I'm left with in my mouth is a really pleasant, lemony flavor. This is quite good. This is one of the 2 glasses that I think might be Jack Daniels. And I'd be interested to know what the other one is. But anytime I make these guesses, that usually means I'm wrong. That was quite tasty. And lemony. I'm telling you. Lemon and allspice. Just dominate that glass. All right. Letter F. Now, if I recall, on the nose, I said this one also was like a pie. It's not quite so pie-ish on the palate. This one over here is, I think, what was that C? This one's very sweet. It's got good viscous. It's got good legs. Maybe not quite as good a legs. But this is the sweetest of the glasses. This is quite sweet. I got confectionery sugar on top of vanilla. On top of pears. And there is an element of that maltiness, that yeastiness coming in. You could almost call that let's just, for the hell of it, let's call that a waffle. So we got a waffle with vanilla ice cream, with vanilla pears, vanilla ice cream, and drizzled a little confectionery sugar on top. There we go. That's what we got here. So because there's a touch of allspice, touch of yeastiness, touch of dryness, all kind of lends towards that waffle note, you might say. There's only one glass so far that I thought might not hold up to the others. And really, should I put it out first simply because it's different? Yeah. I also think not only is it different, I think it's got, I'm going to ding this because it's got less on the nose and it's a rather simple palate. So I'm going to put that one out first. My problem is I've already drank over half my liquids. And I haven't gotten very far yet. Yeah. This is really hard because they're all good. They really are. That one's quite malty too, though. I'm gonna put letter A out next. Gotta get more water. This is just showing you how hard this has been. This is going out next. We'll see what it is. Because I gotta tell you, I don't know. This is the other one I thought could be Jack Daniels. I was thinking it's one of these two. But, you know, that just means I'm wrong. You know, it might be over here. Lovely nose. All right, I'm going to go here and here, with B going out in fourth and D going out in third. Coming down to the last two glasses here. I worry about this one. This one also has the potential to be the Rossville Rye. Rossville Union, because this one's also super malty. And it would be really funny if I kept the cheapest bottle in here and put it in the top. All right. Well, I'm not going to put it number 1. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to leave number 6 as my winner. So there we go. Here we go. Let's see if we can unpack this here. What do we have? In last place, glass number 6 still has a lovely nose. It's very nice, very delicate flavor. It's creamy, smooth, silky. It's just not as strong as the rest. And that's why I put it out first. And that would be, wow, Peerless, going out in last place. All right, Class A was next. I really had a hard time with this one. There were a lot of really good pours here. This smells great to me. Nothing wrong with this glass at all. But it went out in 5th place. Rocket top. The reason I decided to do this was because of this bottle. I thought it was so great. I was just curious to see how high it would get. And here it goes out in 5th place. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with that glass. Nothing wrong. I think perhaps it was hurt by the fact that it was only 100 proof. That if that had been a barrel strength bottle here, if that had been barrel strength, it probably would have finished higher. All right, Glass B. This one was pretty powerful. And smells like a straight up rye. Like just boom, down the middle rye. Rabbit hole. This was one of the strongest glasses. Nose and palate. It was rabbit hole. 95 proof. Go figure. Right? Go figure. This one down here went out first because it was the most delicate. Was 110 proof. You just can't make this shit up. All right, next glass. It's got a beautiful nose, very, very much a rye. A little bit of this is the one that tastes like a pie, smells like a pie, tastes like a pie. It's great. This is a lovely glass. I really like this glass. Jack Daniels. All right. So, like I said there were 2 glasses that I thought could be Jack Daniels, and it was neither of them. The one that tastes like a pie, that was a little weaker on the nose and a little weaker on the palate, but it would taste like a pie, is Jack Daniels. So, notice that we are down to number 1, Rossville Union, and number 3, the Old Elk, which could be MGP, but barreled for 6 years and is a single barrel pick. This has got to be the Ross Union. It smells so malty. It's funny that I also thought that what turned out to be Peerless could have been Ross Union. I partly thought that because it was malty, but I also partly thought that because I figured that if one of these bottles was going to have less on the nose and be more delicate, it'd be the cheapest bottle. Well, I guess I was proved wrong. Because it's just got to be Rossville Union. No. and I'm wrong. But, you know, you can see that I haven't drank a lot of these bottles. So I'm still pretty unfamiliar with the flavors of these. This is all I got. This is all I got. So I'm still pretty unfamiliar with the flavors of these. What I thought I was putting out, I thought I was putting Rossville Union out and not getting it in first place. This is the one that I thought was really malty, and it's actually the old Elk Single Barrel. Now, this is Glass F. This is the one I was thinking, you know, had a little bit of breadiness to it, but wasn't totally a pie like the Jack Daniels was. It was a little softer than some of the others, but I just really enjoyed it. Rossville Union, number 1. It's Glass 1. So this is rather humbling for me because I got so many things wrong. What do I take away from this? Okay, first thing I take away from this is that all these bottles were really good. And this was a really tough blind for me to do. It really was. Okay. So I just absolutely loved this bottle on its own. Just absolutely loved it. This was the inspiration for doing a rye blind. I thought this would finish, now being 100 proof, I didn't think it would win, but I thought it would finish in the top 2 or 3, right? So I'm really surprised to see it down here at 5. Now I'm really, really surprised to see that the most expensive bottle here, the Peerless, which is also lovely. I mean, like I'm telling you, all of these are really good. It's just that it was a little delicate, a little muted compared to the others. It just is, right? And it's also a little malty. Now I don't know how much malted rye is in here, or malted barley is in here, but you know, it just is what it is, right? So, and it's even a pick, right? I don't know. Finished last. Most expensive one up here. So Rabbit Hole. Poor old Rabbit Hole, right? You know, this is like just straight up MGP 95.5. They probably bottled right after they got it, 4 years old, because it doesn't say anything else, right? All it tells you is that it's at least 4 years old. It's only 95 proof, and yet it beat an $80 bottle and a $110 bottle. I mean, now granted, I will say, I have to say, I think I wanted there to be, you know, some ryeness in my selections. So, you know, did that influence things? Is that why this, you know, 95% rye that I know very well, right? Look how empty it is. Yeah, I beat out a couple of other competitors here that probably have less rye in them. I don't know. I don't know if that's what it was. Who knows? Now, I know that I have seen some YouTubers, names slip my mind, but I know there are some YouTubers out there that claim that this bottle here is the best rye on the market. I have watched them say it online, right? And it's very good. It's very good. It tastes like a pie. In fact, it tastes, if I remember, I was thinking it was peach, right? So it was a peach pie. It's so good. But it came in third. The old Elk did really well for itself again. There's a trend here going on that all the old Elks seem to do really well in my blinds. And this one, now granted online they're asking $80 for this online. I actually picked this up at Discount Liquor for $60. Good deal. Single barrel pick. But this is the shocker. I mean, Now, granted, SLB Drinks did a bargain. This is why I have this bottle, right? So SLB Drinks did a bargain, or what do you call it? A value rye blind, right? I think everything in that blind was $80 and less. And they came up with this bottle coming in second. They put the Alberta Premium in first place, which I haven't found yet. Let me tell you, if Alberta Premium is better than this, I need a bottle of that. So, because this right here, this Rossville Union, well, as you can see, it's fantastic. I mean, I've been talking about this all week. I bought this just to fill this out, right? Now, granted, this Rossville Union that I've got here is a single barrel, and it is a pick from Total Wine. So now I have to say that Total Wine's picks have not always been the best, right? Let's just call a spade, right? Total Wine, their picks, I don't know who's doing their picks for them, but they got it right on this one. This one's fantastic. So, anyways, there we go. That is our blind, all rye, non-finished Ryes. There we go. And the cheapest bottle, $40 bottle, won it all. There we go. Well, Greg, peace out.